United Nations peacekeepers killed in the Congo, a uterus transplant in the United States, and a Springfield man back in court for the murder of his mother. Good evening, this is Jackson Heuschel with WJLH News, Sports, and Weather, sponsored by Far and Near Travel. In our top story tonight, the United Nations peacekeeping chief says a large number of peacekeepers have been killed and wounded in an attack in eastern Congo. Jean-Pierre Lacroix says on Twitter that the attack occurred Thursday evening in the North Kivu province. Lacroix says he is outraged by the attack and that medical evacuations are ongoing. However, he has yet to identify the attackers. The UN peacekeeping mission in Congo is the largest in the world and is aimed at calming a number of armed groups in the vast, mineral-rich Central African nation. And sticking with Africa for our next story, a U.S. official says the Pentagon has received permission from the government of Niger to begin flying armed drones from the capital, Niamey. The arrangement reflects an expanded U.S. military campaign against extremists in Africa and is based on recently signed government-to-government memorandum of understanding. The U.S. official says armed drone flights could begin as early as next week, or at least by the end of December. And moving away from death for our first national story, a hospital official says the first birth as a result of a womb transplant in the United States has occurred in Texas, a milestone for the U.S., but one achieved several years ago in Sweden. A woman who has been born without a uterus gave birth to the baby at Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas. The hospital has had a study underway for several years to enroll up to 10 women for uterus transplants. And in another unusual story from the South, Louisiana police say an unpaid $7 Waffle House bill has led them to make 2 arrests and break a Los Angeles-based identity theft ring. Pearl River police say investigators were told 2 men drove off in a U-Haul van after stiffing the restaurant on Saturday. Officers arrested both the driver and passenger, and a search of the van turned up fake IDs, credit cards skimming devices, and a Waffle House receipt for $7.41. And in a shocking story from our own state, a Springfield man has been convicted again of killing his mother after a state appeals court vacated his 2012 conviction on a technicality. The Springfield State Journal-Register reports 46-year-old Michael Seal represented himself in a 3-day trial that started Monday. Jurors convicted him of first-degree murder Wednesday afternoon. Seal was originally convicted of first-degree murder in 2012 and sentenced to 40 years for the November 2009 stabbing death of his mother, Darla. And in some good news for anyone with a sweet tooth, the Chicago area's penny per ounce tax on soda and sugary drinks is no more. The Cook County Board voted 15-2 in October to end the tax, just more than 2 months after it took effect. The tax expired Friday. David Goldenberg of Can the Tax Coalition calls it a day for celebration. He says county residents stood up to the tax and the commissioners listened. Among the tax's supporters were billionaire Michael Bloomberg, whose super PAC ran ads defending the tax as a way to fight obesity. And we'll be back with this week's sports and weather after a message from our sponsor. Plan the spring getaway you've been dreaming of at Far and Near Travel in Monmouth. With Far and Near Travel, this planning is as easy and stress-free as the vacation itself. They'll take care of all your booking arrangement and details for you. Rental cars, hotels, even tourist information. So what are you waiting for? Let the experts at Far and Near Travel in Monmouth plan your trip today. For spring travel, fly from St. Louis to Punta Cana for 7 nights for just $779. Prices all inclusive. Some rules and restrictions apply. Call 1-800-FAR-NEAR. And we're back with your WJLH Sports Update. In New York, the Bills have hired 5 assistant coaches as the team transitions to a new regime for the next season. Team officials announced Thursday the hires of Phil McCaughlin as wide receivers coach, John Urkamu for defensive quality control, Mark Lubin for offensive quality control, Matt Smiley for assistant special teams coach, and Bill Tierling as the assistant defensive line coach. And moving on down the East Coast to Florida, Chris Davis has defeated the Oakland Athletics in salary arbitration. The outfielder on Wednesday was awarded a $5 million salary this season by arbitrators Mark Irvings, Jill Vernon, and Mark Boosteen, who heard the case a day earlier in St. Petersburg, Florida. The A's had argued he should be paid $4.65 million. Davis, Oakland's regular left fielder, hit .247 for a second straight year and established career highs of 42 home runs and 102 RBIs in his first season with the A's. And we'll close out the night with our AccuWeather forecast. Today, it expected to be cloudy and a few flurries in central and southern Illinois. Highs from the lower 30s to the lower 40s. And it clearing up that night. Lows from 10 degrees to 15 degrees in the northwest and the middle 20s in the southeast. Sunday is a bit chillier, becoming cloudy with a chance of light snow or flurries statewide. Highs from the middle 20s to the middle 30s. And the snow is clearing up on Sunday night, being mostly cloudy with lows around 0 degrees. And finally, a relatively calm start to the week. Monday will be partly cloudy with highs from the teens to the middle 30s. This has been Jackson Heuschel with WJLH News, Sports, and Weather. Sponsored by Far Near Travel, saying thank you and good night.